All right, boys, bring it in.
All right, Little Ed, do we have to introduce this before we get going?
I think so.
Go ahead. I'll let you do it.
Well, before we get into this, we wanted to apologize on our social media behalf. Cousin Ed got a little excited the other night and tweeted out that Jack Hughes was taking the face off on Panarin's game tying goal. Got a lot of angry messages from shockingly more Ranger fans than anybody saying that we just attacked Jack Hughes and we're just looking for things to say about him. It was an honest mistake that Cousin Ed made. However, I would like to point out that even if he wasn't taking the face off, there's a reason why he's not taking the face off, first of all, because he's not trusted to take the face off. And also that he missed his assignment or his initial assignment on the face off itself. So we wanted Coach Ed to point out exactly what that meant. And before we say this, I mean, this is our philosophy on face-off positioning, and we didn't make this up. It's typically what teams and what coaches use. There's no secrets. Like we always say, the NHL is a very copycat league. So more often than not, this is what the wingers and what defensemen should be thinking about on the face-off.
And
Coach, can you
before,
just adjust your board a little bit? There's a light glare on there.
Oh,
yeah, and
sorry.
before Coach goes in, I just want to say a
My
couple
brother.
things. Number one, Twitter is a cesspool. Okay, you guys are horrible. No, I'm just kidding, but it is a cesspool. People make mistakes, guys. All right, it was a quick thing. I looked at the replay. I saw Hughes on the ice. I assumed stupidly that Hughes, a center, took the face off, and I was wrong. Okay, so I'm sorry. I deleted the tweet, and then they came at us because we deleted the tweet. Well, what do you want me to do? Leave incorrect information up there? I'm just trying to lessen the misinformation out in the world, right? So that's number one. Number two, we don't hate Jack Hughes. Well, I don't at least. I don't know. Little Ed might, but I don't. I don't hate Jack Hughes. I think Jack Hughes is a dynamic offensive player. I would love for him to be on the Rangers. He contributes how he contributes. He's an offensive, he's going to be a 100-point player for the next 10 years. I do not hate the player at all, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have flaws. You can think Jack Hughes is extremely dynamic, and you can think all those things, but if you can't honestly assess a player, then I don't hear about it. Because all we hear about Jack Hughes from Rangers fans is, oh, Jack Hughes, we could have had Jack Hughes. But Jack Hughes is a flawed player. And Coach Ed's going to explain now why he is, or an example of why he is. So go ahead, Coach.
What was the game situation, by the way? Was it tied at the time? What was the
It
game?
was the Rangers. No, the Rangers were down 3-2. Offensive zone faceoff. We have Panarin lined up on the wing in front of the net.
Right, that I
And there
have.
was about, I'd say,
It was an
8:50
icing.
left. There was an icing, so the Devils players were stuck on the ice, including Jack Hughes. And he was on the wing, not taking the draw, which I think centers usually take draws, right, Cuz?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they usually
Yeah,
take him.
I think, or trusted centers at least, we should say. Yeah.
But he
So
plays with Hall, so he doesn't have to, I guess.
right. So yeah, so Hughes was taking or was not taking the faceoff. He was lined up next to Panarin in front of the net, and there was about
Okay.
8 minutes and 50 seconds left in the third period, up 3-2. Yes,
The Devils were up 3-2.
correct.
And they had two
So-
wingers right next to each other, Coach, right in front of Panarin. So they had Hughes there, and
I have
then one behind him.
Well, I have a Devil here. I didn't know if it was a wing
it
or a
was
D. First of all,
not behind him, like
was
in front of the
he was
net,
here?
more in front of the net. Yeah, it was like
okay, all right, whatever. All right, so he's over here. We had two men there. So first of all, situational. I try to teach players since they're 8 years old. Situational, time on the clock, score, what period it is. All these little nuances of the game. If they're winning 3-2, I don't care if you're the best player in the world. This is my gripe with Panarin for the last few years. Also, I've been saying it that Ovechkin gave in and settled in and played his right role. If he knows it's a 3-2 game, and first of all, at his skill level, he doesn't have to jump and cheat. All right, he's quick enough to hold on with Panarin for a second in this spot. And if the puck goes here, to jump and get it, because Panarin probably won't hold him up. He's that quick on his feet. So what he tried to do was, which Eddie always says that he does all the time, and it's going to burn him in the ass. They probably tried to get the puck forward, or assuming the Rangers center won, he was trying to jump it and split the D and go on a breakaway. Right.
Bingo.
So by doing that, he left his other teammate in no man's land. Panarin took a half a step back, got the shot off quick, and tied the game.
No, he didn't even take a half a step back. He went in. The puck was kind of tied up in the dot.
So
he took a step forward. Yeah, step forward.
Okay, so he jumped in a little bit. So if he ties him up, that doesn't happen. They're still winning 3-2. Good chance they can go on and win the game. But by him cheating a little and jumping it, that settled the score on that play. And it probably
Coach, even
happened.
worse. Even worse. I'm just looking at your board. It's hard for me to see. But the way you have it set up, at least my recollection of the play, which I watched again because I made a mistake, but the way where you have that second guy behind Hughes, what I meant by behind him is like down on the board towards the other circle. So they were lined up like 4 across and then 1 behind the circle by the
goal line.
Yeah.
So here? Oh,
so
that's
where
I had him, and you said no. You said more
sorry,
goal. Yeah.
Sorry, no, my bad. So they were like that, and then Hughes was the inside man and jumped. So that other devil was kind of stuck. He wasn't blocking Panarin's path to the net at all. So Panarin had a clear path to shoot.
Right. And
Right,
also,
now he's got
now
he's got to chase Panarin. That
Right.
second guy has to chase Panarin to the point.
The defenseman has to jump on. Right. A lot of people were saying to me, "Oh no, Jack Hughes was going out to cover the point. Who was supposed to cover the point in that situation?" To me, it was very clear that Hughes went for the puck. He went for almost like a toe drag type move to get the puck loose. He missed, spun his whole body around, and turned his back on the defenseman. So as a defenseman, I see that, and then I just disappear and I go around Hughes, and he's not covered at all. So to me, he wasn't covering the point at all. Like we were just saying, he was looking for the fast break. And when you go back to say the situation, Panarin's the hottest player in the league right now. And you're going to leave him without untouched on a faceoff draw as a winger, or as a center, I should say. And Devils fans and even Ranger fans that I'm arguing with online are saying he's the best player in the league. He's a great captain, a great leader. If he's such a good player and he's such a good leader, he should be directing traffic on that faceoff, especially as a center, because that's a center's main responsibility, is to make sure everyone knows what their responsibilities are on a faceoff draw. And if you're going to tell me that it was the defenseman's responsibility to pick up Panarin, then Hughes should be reminding his defenseman, "Hey, I'm jumping the faceoff. You got Panarin."
Right. Well, they didn't even line up. I don't know what they were doing, Coach. Maybe you can explain, because the way they had it was they had Haula taking the draw, 2 wingers in front of Panarin, and then the 2D on the outside. Well, one of the D was kind of more towards the middle of the circle, like closer to Hughes.
A lot of teams are doing that now. I mean, the way we're doing it is the way hockey was doing it probably 5 years ago, where we have the 2 forwards here and a D here, a D here. So if we win it back, either this D is going to get it or this D has to jump on the forward. So now what a lot of teams are doing, I noticed, they're not putting the D in front. They're still putting the 2 wingers, and they're putting a D back here, which I kind of don't agree with. Again, with the skill level of defensemen in this league, they should be able to make a jump on that play, get the puck and send it around, or make a move with your partner over here. If the other D is over here, there's 2 chances to get the puck if it's loose here. So I agree with the way we always do it. I've been cheating this guy down a little bit to give him a half a step on this forward where he could still cover him, but that's debatable. But the whole point is Jack Hughes should know better, like Eddie said. And even if he wants to jump it, then he should have the other guy here, and he should be here and jump here, and this guy's still on Panarin.
Yeah, because like you said, he has the foot speed that he doesn't need that extra step to line up closer to the center.
His first 3 steps without the puck especially are ridiculous. So there's no way the puck's not going to go back that hard where he's not going to jump it and grab it.
Well, plus he has to read the play. He has to read the play, right? So
if anything, by being here and letting his teammate cover Panarin, he's going uninhibited today. He's going untouched because this guy's tying up Panarin. So he's got even less of a chance of getting tied up.
Right.
Because Panarin should have actually got him a little bit and stopped him from getting to the point.
And
You
what
know,
Cousin Ed just said is
Panarin
like
said,
you
"All
have to
right,
read the
bye."
play. Yeah, you have to read the play a little bit as if I said this online to someone too, is if the draw is not won cleanly, it's a completely different situation. And in this case, the draw wasn't won cleanly. It was tied up in the centers. So why are you trying to jump the play if the puck is tied up? At
well,
that point, it's a free puck.
he might be yelling at his center, kick it, or the center might know he's doing that, trying to kick it, but whoever the Rangers center was did a good job at not letting him do it.
Trocheck.
You know, so again, that's something else that they should both take into consideration. It's probably the Rangers' best centerman on the faceoff. Let's not do it on this play. Let's play defensively. So that's another situation. Now,
Hey,
if
you're
the
up a
score, in
goal
my
with
opinion,
8 minutes left.
right, if the score is 3-2 Rangers and you want to do this, that's a different story. You know, if you want to take that chance, that's up to the coach and the players to discuss before the game or in between periods or whatever. But being up a goal, I'm surprised that happened. I'm very surprised. And again, that's got to come with maturity. He's got to know that that's, hopefully he learned from that. And that's why his plus minus isn't, where it should be probably.
He's got to dig. I would think, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's got to recognize immediately he can start his jump, but he's got to recognize this is a tie up. Puck's right here. It's not squirting out. Stop and help his center control the puck.
Without a doubt.
Or
Without a
tie
doubt.
Panarin, one or the other. Or you
The
got
first job of this inside guy, this is the devil, is to check is to go to that point. This is his point, but you stop if it's tied up and you check it if there's a loose puck. And then if it's one back, you go and get in the shooting lane. You're not going to get the puck, but you're going to prohibit that guy from getting a clear shot.
Yep.
Your job of covering the point isn't standing next to the guy. It's covering a passing lane or a shooting lane in this situation. So this forward gets out to this guy, and that's his job to just, even if he loses the draw, just stop him from getting a shot to the net, and he's got to go up the wall. And then you have your other teammate here. There's 50-50 battles after that. But he just gave up, went for the break, and that's a big no-no. Obviously, he paid the price on it.
The biggest difference here is face-off responsibilities versus defensive zone responsibilities. I'm not arguing against you guys online that, yes, Hughes should be covering that point as a winger, but he also has face-off responsibilities first. And that's where he made the mistake.
Definitely. It's got to be it's a check and then a go.
And
if he wins it clean back to that, clean back to that D, then he goes.
Right. And this check that you're talking about is a split second in real time. It's not sit there and wait, cover Panarin, wait for Panarin to make a decision, then go. It's like Panarin's good, tied up, the defenseman's here. All right, I'm gone. This happens in like a split second, especially on the NHL level. And he didn't even give it a split second. He was already just gone, looking for the breakaway, up 3-2 in the third period.
And again, he's an elite player in the world.
100%.
He has that ability. He has that ability to check, and then go if there's a break. Even if he's here and this center or this guy gets the puck, he's gone in a split second. It happens all the time. That's how he gets these breakaways. These D get caught puck watching for a split second, and they chip it off the boards. They're not pivoting and catching them. There's very few guys that are going to pivot and catch him. So he can stop and wait and then go.
Yep.
There's no reason for him to cheat, in my opinion.
Yeah. So look, this is something that is just an example. Yes, we're being super critical of a nuanced play, but this is how hockey games are won and lost, on nuanced plays. I mean, mistakes by players. Everyone is so good in this league that that's how you win a game. Is somebody made a mistake, and that was Jack Hughes who made that mistake. So yes, he didn't take the draw, but in my opinion, and I don't know if you guys agree, but I think that's on him because he had Panarin and he just ignored him.
We agree.
Yeah. So with things like that, yes, you can say Jack Hughes is a great player, but you have to acknowledge when a player doesn't do something well. You can't just sit here and say they're perfect and they're wonderful if they're making mistakes like that cost the Devils 2 points. They really did because the Rangers flipped the momentum. They scored the fourth goal on the VC goal, and they ended up winning
Yep.
the game in regulation. So the Devils lost
Yeah.
points in standings.
That being said, anyone out there can go back and listen to all of our episodes in last year, year before, destroying Panarin and other players that we thought weren't producing defensively. So with all the points that Panarin's put up in the past, we always criticize his defensive game. So it's not just Jack Hughes. We criticize everyone. And with that, I'll say, I said it to you, I said it to the chat yesterday, that was a horrible play by Keandre Miller. Very not a similar situation, but the Rangers were winning on a power play. He tried to make a bonehead play at the point. Was it a power play? I don't remember. But either way, he tried to make
Was it Miller who made that pass?
No, Miller went for the pass, and then he caught the pass and then went to do like a toe drag, and the Dallas player poked it away and went down on a 2-on-1, and that's the reason they won the game, in my opinion.
Well, that
Right.
to me that
Very
was
similar. They tied the game on that play, and then they had the momentum after that. It was over.
but to me that was on VC.
Yeah,
Keandre was
VC made
breaking
the
in.
pass.
Keandre was breaking in, and he did try to do the wrong play. I get it, but VC just should have went deep with that.
Yep.
Okay.
In my
I
opinion.
remember because I
I
remembered
think
somebody
Keandre's kind of
made
calling
that
for the
pass.
pass though in that play, so it's tough.
I know,
Yeah.
but Keandre's wrong if he was calling for it, but VC's again more of a defensive-minded player. He usually doesn't make that mistake, and I'm sure he knows he did it wrong. The coach didn't even have to say anything to him. So
Yeah, sometimes you don't give the puck to a teammate who's calling for it. We all know that.
but very similar play.
You're right, though. A defensive breakdown, or not even defensive breakdown, but a nuanced play because they had the puck, right? So it's the offensive zone. So okay, but a play with the lead, you got to be a little more careful, a little more conservative, and that was a dangerous play, and it led to a goal against, and it changed the momentum of the game, and the Rangers ended up losing.
All right, boys, bring it in.